What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about Coach Ike Hilliard. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So today in Atlanta Falcons news, the Atlanta Falcons have fired wide receivers coach Ike Hilliard. And personally, I definitely think that Ike Hilliard was the scapegoat in this situation. I don't believe that Ike Hilliard should have been relieved of his duties. He is a solid wide receivers coach. Ike Hilliard played in the NFL for many seasons, mainly with the New York Giants. And he is one of those guys that understands the game, was a really good wide receiver when he was in the league. And he's coached a lot of different areas, both on the collegiate ranks and in the NFL ranks. So in this situation, I definitely believe that he was the scapegoat for Sunday's performance of us being blown out by the Carolina Panthers by a score of 30-0. But I don't think that Ike Hilliard, to many like fans of the Atlanta Falcons, just in general, to the average fan, they may not even know who Ike Hilliard is because he's not a guy that's normally in front of the camera. But I really feel like Sunday's performance had nothing to do with him. Yes, our wide receivers did at times run bad routes and things of that nature, as far as, you know, they were not on par with Michael Penix. They were not in rhythm. But I really feel like that falls on the offensive coordinator and that falls on the head coach, Raheem Morris, both him and Zach Robinson. I really feel like in Sunday's game, they did Michael Penix Jr., who's a first-year starter, no favors by not running the football. You know that you're going into a game where the Carolina Panthers are desperate. They're 0-2. They're going into their season opener at home. And they played like they were a team that was desperate and more hungry than our Atlanta Falcons. But I really feel like you went in there not with your A game. You went in there with like your C game. As far as the game plan, it was a terrible game plan by offensive coordinator Zach Robinson and head coach Raheem Morris. We seen this Atlanta Falcons team on Sunday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings dominate them by running the football. Bijan Robinson dominated in week 1 with having over 100 yards receiving against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then he followed that up. Both him and Tyler Algier rushed for over 200 yards on Sunday Night Football's game when we dominated the Minnesota Vikings in their home opener. And then you come out in week 3, just a week after you just dominated in the trenches with running the ball, and you come out throwing the football against the Carolina Panthers and pretty much allowing the Carolina Panthers to get out to a big lead and then allowing them to make us one-dimensional. And basically, Michael Penix has to try to throw his way back into the game. So I really feel like the game plan was just horrible altogether. And I'm not giving anybody any excuses at this point. Ike Hilliard is not the issue. Making this change does nothing for the Atlanta Falcons. TJ Yates now, who's our passing game coordinator, now has to do 2 roles because now he's the passing game coordinator and the wide receivers coach. So at this point, I really feel like this was just a scapegoat move by Coach Raheem Morris. They had to blame somebody for us losing and not scoring a single point, not even getting into the red zone. I believe not even crossing the 30-yard line in Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to repeat again, the Carolina Panthers are not 30 points better than the Atlanta Falcons. No disrespect to them, but I've watched all of the Carolina Panthers games so far this year, and they're not a good football team. I'm going to continue to say that. They will not be in the playoffs. They're not a good football team. But, you know, this Atlanta Falcons team, we went in there and we allowed them to take advantage of us. As we know in the NFL, it's any given Sunday. Any team can beat any team on any given Sunday, and they outperformed us because they outcoached us. They came in with a better game plan. They came in with the game plan that the Atlanta Falcons had against the Minnesota Vikings and the game plan we should have had against the Carolina Panthers, with allowing Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier to take over the game, similar to what they did in Minnesota. I've been seeing a lot of different things coming from the the Carolina Panthers fans and things of that nature, stating that they shut down Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, which is a lie. If you look at the stats, when you rush for over 5.5 yards a carry, that's not shutting someone down. As I mentioned, the guy had only 16 or 14 carries or something like, no, 13 carries, I believe, in the game for like 70 some yards in Bijan Robinson. He almost cracked one where he basically gets shoestring tackled. Could have easily been like a 70+ yard touchdown because he hits the crease and there's nobody in front of him. If he breaks that last tackle, if they miss that shoestring tackle, he's gone and he's going to hit his head on the goalpost. So I really feel like the Atlanta Falcons let the Carolina Panthers off the hook in that game. It was just, like I said, a horrible game plan. We played bad on all phases of the ball. Outside of the defense, the special teams played horrible and the offense played horrible in the game. But I really feel like it had more to do with the game plan than it did to do with the actual players. We're looking at these players like the Drake Londons and the Darnell Mooneys and even the Michael Penix Jr.'s and wondering, why did they perform the way that they perform? Why did they look lethargic the way that they look lethargic? But that goes back to the play calling. When you see that your quarterback is struggling, you have to go back to your bread and butter. When I keep saying that this Atlanta Falcons team has no identity, identity means what can you hang your hat on? When all else fails, what can you hang your hat on? And to me, this Atlanta Falcons team, to me, it's the running game. It's what they can hang their hat on. The trenches with the offensive line being dominant and your defense in that front seven forcing turnovers and, rushing the passer and stopping the run. That's what this Atlanta Falcons team has to hang their hat on. But right now, it looks like both Coach Raheem Morris, Zach Robinson, they don't know, what the identity of their team is. They don't know what they can hang their hat on. And the proof is in the pudding. If Zach Robinson knew what to hang his hat on, he would have gave the ball to Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier a lot more. Only running or giving Tyler Algier one carry in the game is a fireable offense. Only giving Bijan Robinson 13 carries and you're down 30-0 is a fireable offense. I've been seeing a stat one of the subscribers mentioned on my channel, and I've seen it also. They were talking about it on a lot of different platforms on Twitter and things of that nature, that since 1970, there's never been a team since 1970 that basically outgained their opponent in yards, over 100 yards in total offense, and lose by 30 plus points. So that tells us, or tells me, that this Atlanta Falcons team played a lot better than the Carolina Panthers in that game. They outgained them on every hand, rushing yards, passing yards, and you still come away with an L and you lose by 30. What that tells me is poor coaching, poor clock management. I mean, it goes all the way around. It was just a terrible game altogether. But I really feel like Ike Hilliard, he gets the brunt of it, now that he was let go and relieved of his duties. And I wish him happy trails. I definitely believe that he'll get another coaching job elsewhere, because he's been a guy, like I said, has coached both in college and on multiple NFL teams as well. So he has, he has the resume to get another job. But, just putting this on him, putting this L on him, I really feel like was the wrong move. I really feel, like I said, that this does nothing for the Atlanta Falcons going into next week, because Ike Hilliard's fingerprints was not on that game. He was not the reason that the Falcons lost by 30 plus points and didn't score a single point. That points right back to Zach Robinson. That points right back to Raheem Morris of him not setting a tone and setting an identity for this team. Until the Atlanta Falcons set that identity that we're going to be a team that's going to run the ball, a team that's going to be physical in the trenches, we're going to continue to struggle. And I'm going to keep saying it over and over again until these coaches get it in their head, until they stop being bullheaded and stubborn and hard-headed. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.